Think Media is a huge interactive agency, and he is the founder and chief editor. Mr. Vijay Michihito Batra. Being an inspirational speaker in corporate India, he drives to spread the message of positive thinking and work ethics through his talks. Having worked in India, Japan, and America over an extended period of time, he brings a unique blend, experience, and principles of success which are universal. With his positive focus, he created Think Media Incorporation, a creative showcasing of innovation in the business process. He brings a corporate news update and giving coverage to what is inspiring and motivating.
Good morning. It's indeed a pleasure for me and an honor to be here on the same podium as Dr. G. Vishwanathan, Dr. Jagdish Sheth, and Dr. Xavier's. My son is going to VIT Vellore. He's in third year, mechanical engineering. And ever since he's known that, I'll be on the same podium, he's been telling me practically every day, do not misbehave. Because I have a reputation of, being quite a naughty father. A brief history about myself. My name is Vijay Michihito Batra. My father is from Punjab, Dr. Come from Japan, and that's where they met. And I think it must have been my father's initiative. And that's how the first Indo-Japanese joint venture took place. Bharati and Heroes came much later and then got to this stage. I'm 52 years old and I intend to go on forever. And I was born in Japan in 1962 and I came to India in 67. And I distinctly remember in 67, at the age of 5, you know what's happening around. And I was happy coming to India, Delhi, because things were better here. Because living on the outskirts of Tokyo in 60s, 66, 67, when I left Japan, there was no flush toilets. Things were rough there in Japan. Whereas in Delhi, in my grandparents' house, first time I could see, you pull a chain and whoosh, the water comes. Right? And at that time, we had plenty of water in Delhi as well. So practically every 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going and pulling the chain, and I had a great time. It was good. Then one thing led to other, and for some reason my mother had to go back to Japan with my grandmother, that is my maternal grandmother, and I never saw her for the next 15 years, and I grew up with my father. And I went to States in 83, and I saw that a country that I found to be so powerful in 67 gradually decayed, after a few years. And by the time I was in my teens, India had really gone the wrong way, I think. And my mother not being with me, I had this perfect excuse of not studying. Kids are very, very cunning that way. So whenever my father would tell me to study, I said, hey, my mother is not here, how can I study? I'm missing her and all that. So, I didn't realize many, many years later it's going to come to haunt me. So I didn't study very, very well. So I had very few choices. So I ended up somehow getting into a college called Bhagat Singh College. I did my BCom honors there. And from there on I started a journey of doing an MBA, incidentally from the University of Pittsburgh. That's where Dr. Jagdish Sheth went there, and I feel better now that I've done something. And incidentally I was overhearing a conversation between Dr. Vishwanathan and Jagdish Sheth, who both went to Loyola. It's phenomenal, right? And I'm trying to figure out, what I have in common with Dr. G. Vishwanathan, and I think my son is which is common. He is benefiting from the effort that Dr. G. Vishwanathan has put in. So then I went on to the US. From there on, I went to study in a place called Hawaii, where Fujitsu, a Japanese computer company, had an institution that they were sponsoring to help non-Japanese to learn about Japan. And de facto, if you're half Japanese, you are non-Japanese, because they don't round up, they round down. So I went there, I picked up some Japanese management. Then from there on, I got picked up by a bank called the Mizuho Bank, because I could speak the language, English and Japanese, and I started my journey. and I was promising sales. Because a commerce graduate, MBA in marketing, what do you do? Sales. And every now and then my Japanese boss would come and talk things that normally I would not want to listen in the morning. Right? And I started thinking that if I ever get married and if I ever have kids, I'll make sure they become engineers. And my son, when we were blessed with a son and a girl, my wife and I, we took a pledge that no matter what, they'll not be doing commerce. And I figured, these kids will have no excuses. Both parents are together, so they can't make any fuss. And I'm so happy that my daughter's already become an engineer. She's now working with CSC, and my son is. I'm hoping that he will become an engineer. Like my father calls him half engineer, and he's in third year now. Now, digital marketing is something which obviously is not a topic for me, I guess. Dr. Jagdish Sheth is going to make sure that all of us come up to par, I guess. I've been given this mandate to start the day, kickstart the day. Originally, I was supposed to be here for 10 minutes motivating you, but I think now probably I have about 20 or 30 minutes, I guess. So I'm going to do my job in motivating you, so you guys are open to ideas, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out, I'm sure Jagdish Shethji will make it clear for us as to how can WhatsApp be bought for $18 billion, a bunch of, young guys selling a company to a company where they were rejected for a job. 5 years later, they're able to sell whatever they did in 5 years for $18 billion. How does that happen, I guess, right? So I'll motivate you. I'll just need time. Can I have this laptop, please? Yeah, just that laptop, yeah. I've been told by my son to behave, so I'll remain on the dais. How many of you understand Hindi? Raise your hands. Most of you guys do. Maybe a better question is to ask, how many of you do not understand Hindi? Okay. So I'll make sure I don't use too much Hindi, because now I've been living in Delhi for the past 14 years. Before that I was living, before I went to the US, so I have a tendency to use a lot of Hindi in between. But I can assure you one thing, if you don't understand a language, it's better. When I came to India in 67, at the age of 5, my father put me into a school called the Delhi Public School. Now we have DPSs everywhere. And for the first 2 years, I didn't have a clue what they were saying, because all I could understand was Japanese, because that's the language I would speak to my mother and to other. And I made so many friends. And then after 2 years, when I started understanding the language, right, I started having challenges. Because I started understanding what they were calling me, Chapti Nak, right, Gorkhe, Bahadur, all these terms are terms which are, strange, I guess, right? But that was a lesson. My first lesson was that it is the meaning that you attach to the word that makes all the difference. Is it not? My friends never wanted to insult me, but they saw me as a young boy having a flat nose, so that other people with a lot of flat noses coming from Nepal, right? They were calling him Gorkha and Bahadur, right? I think in life, many people, right, when they start thinking that they understand the language, they start messing it up. Now the question to all of us here, why do you work? If somebody were to ask you this question, all of you work, don't you? Or else you would not be sitting here so early in the morning, right? Why do you work? Why do you work? Like for my son who goes to VIT, I think his demand would be to have night classes only. Right? Because for them to get up in the morning is the toughest thing to do. Now the question to all of you is, why do you work? I think we'll have the answer on the screen very shortly. Why do you work? Anyone? I'm sorry? To make a mark. I think that's a very, very powerful answer. I wish Rahul Gandhi had the same thought. I think you are on the right direction. I think the reason why anyone should work is to become a better person. Money definitely is an important component, but becoming better while you're working day in and day out is something which is very, very important. And that is one thing I picked up in Japan. I grew up in India from the age of 5 to 20, formative years, and being in Delhi, as you know, Delhi is a strange place. Everybody in Delhi pretends to work, okay?
Everybody pretends to work, is it not? And we're becoming masters in pretending to work. And suddenly from there I went to the US, and US obviously people work. But the place in the world where people really work is Japan. In Japan, people work. Now things might have changed because I'm not in Japan, so things may have slowed down. But in Japan, they just work. And I remember when I joined the Japanese company in Tokyo in 1987, my Japanese boss asked me a question, why have you joined this company? And I'm a very honest Punjabi, I said, for money. And he looked at me as if he doesn't understand this answer. He said, what did he say? I said, I've joined you for money. And then he came back with something which was very, very strange at that time, but now at age of 52, I understand. He said, if you're working for money alone, no matter what we pay you, you are selling yourself too cheap. Now I thought, man, pay me more. He said, no matter what we pay you, if you work for money alone, you're selling yourself too cheap. And it's taken me half my lifetime to understand that if anyone works for money alone, no matter what they earn, they're selling themselves too cheap. Now, how many of you are married? Married people, come on. If you're married, raise your hands. You don't have to look around, okay? Some people are looking around. Kis-kis ne haath khada kar diya? So if you are not married, please do not raise your hand, okay? Okay, so I see some people are married. So the question to all of you is, why did you get married? Believe me, I had no clue to this answer till I was attending a workshop with my Japanese boss in Japan when a trainer asked us, how many of you are married? We all raised our hands. And then he asked the question, why did you get married? And my Japanese boss said, he will answer. So I was left standing there, right? And everybody is saying, okay, now come answer. And I had no clue. And guess what? The trainer came to the rescue. He said, the reason why anyone should marry is to create an amazing family. And then he went on to explain what is an amazing family. An amazing family is where the children are better than their parents. And I thank VIT because you are doing me a big favor because you are making my son better than me. Now, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, Amitabh Bachchan, फिर भी no idea. That family is going into a tailspin, is it not, right? Now, Rajnikant, on the other hand, his kids are doing better than what I think many others of the next generation are doing, I guess. But Amitabh Bachchan's biggest challenge right now is what to do to get Abhishek Bachchan going. But look at Raj Kapoor, his father Prithviraj Kapoor, his son Rishi Kapoor, but Ranbir Kapoor is doing fairly well. I think he's got certain areas to improve, but hey, he's becoming better. So I think for all of us who are married, please be aware that the reason why you got married is to create an amazing family where your children are better than you and your ancestors. Would you agree? Very often people get, very romantic about the concept of marriage. Why did you get married? Well, I got married because I wanted to share something with somebody. And my wife tells me, you only share what you earn with me, nothing else I want to share, okay? So those are romantic answers. Now, having said that, why are we sitting here? Because digital marketing now is becoming a very important component if you and I want to become better and better. Because you cannot become better if you are not understanding what is digital, right? Would you agree or not? I remember when I started this business about 14 years back, and we were sending out mailers. So we printed 1,000 mailers. We put them into envelopes. We didn't have enough people, so I was also working very, very hard. Then we somehow made labels, and then we pasted them. And then in lots of 200, we were sending it to the post office. Somebody would take 200 mailers. Now, one lot of 200 envelopes stuffed with mailers, right, went without the address label on the envelope. And the post office just took it. And then 3 days later, whatever stamp that we have put on the stamp, that it's been used, and those envelopes come back to the sender. And I'm staring at them. I said, how can that happen? What a blunder. What a blunder. But now, obviously, when it goes to digital, making a mistake is not as expensive and it can be corrected without expenses. So basically, I think for all of us here, it's very, very important, all the dignitaries here who are going to be talking about digital media, marketing, I think there's a lot that we can learn. Now, how will you describe becoming better? And I strongly feel improving one's ability to help others. Many of us are, at times sidetracked, living in a better home, driving a better car, wearing better clothes, having a better phone. Like my wife keeps telling me, you bought a smartphone, but you remain the same. So you can have all the expensive things, but unless you are improving your ability to help others, you are done. What comes in our way of becoming better? Now, that's a question I often ask myself, and the answer is justification. In India, we justify a lot, is it not? I'm not saying every Indian, many of us. I don't know about Chennai, but in Delhi, we are masters at justifying. मैं तो अच्छी भली गाड़ी चला रहा था, खंबा आके टकरा गया. I was driving, the pole came and hit me. When I went to the US at the age of 20, 1983, some of the English I could understand, but I could not comprehend. Because in India, in Delhi, we would say, मेरे पाँव में मोच आ गई. मेरे पाँव में, which actually translates, the sprain came on my ankle. And there I would see Americans say, I sprained my ankle. This was a difference in thought process, is it not? Yes or no? But when you go to Japan, things become even more intense. They do not justify, period. I remember once my Japanese boss and we were supposed to meet a client at 9 o'clock in the morning, my first brush with responsibility. I got there at 8:35. We had agreed to meet at 8:30. The meeting was at 9 o'clock in that building, 10 floors up. Elevators don't take that long. So he said, 9 o'clock is a client meeting. You be there in the lobby at 8:30. I got there at 8:35. I thought that's good enough. Even if you have to climb, it's good enough. And he looked at me and asked me, why are you late? I said, sir, you said 8:30. And he says 8:35. Now, we had some kind of an issue. I said, sir, is 5 minutes late? And he says, what do you mean 5 minutes is late? Even 1 minute is late. Next time 8:30 means 8:30. Is that clear? The only reason I will accept for you to be late if you die coming to the meeting place. Is that clear? I said, sir, it'll take me some time, sir, but I'll make it clear. The Japanese guys are different. Now they've maybe changed, softened up a little bit, but when I was there, I remember once I went to my Japanese boss and I said, I will try to get the order today. He says, you will get the order today. I said, what's the difference? He said, if you don't get the order today, I will not try to fire you, I will fire you. I said, now I'm very clear, I will get the order. There's no trying in Japan, you do. Now, in many parts of the world, even in America, I've seen, they say, good luck, good luck. In Japan, they don't know this word called good luck. They say, gambatte kudasai, do your best. There's no thing called good luck. And if they were to come to Delhi, I don't know about Chennai, they'll be amazed how we conduct our lives, is it not? Bhagwan bharose chhod diya, we left it on God. How can you do that? So one thing I've picked up from Japan and some of the successful people in India, they do not justify, they practice being determined. Now let me ask you a question. Practice makes you? I'm sorry? Oh, come on, you are sounding like Punjabi women. Are you Punjabi? Huh? Practice makes you better, never perfect. Punjabis are, constantly pretending we start from perfection and we improve it. Now, how can anyone be perfect? Can anyone be perfect? Had there been perfection, I'm sure Brahma would have done everything right and my wife would have had no complaints. There would have been no Mahesh and no Shiv. So practice makes you, but one thing we have to be very, very aware, whatever you practice, you become better in that. Some people practice justifying, they become better in justification. Some people practice determination, they become better in determination. You know, nowadays, when I look at the Indian hockey team, sometimes I'm crying in my heart because when I was growing up, India was hockey. We won the World Cup in hockey in 70s, right? And now when I talk to people, they say, oh, the turf has changed. I don't think turf has changed. We Indians have practiced determination more than determination. Who is he? Dhyan Chand. Now, some of the youngsters, if you know this name, I would like to come and hug you. His father and mother named him Dhyan, family name was Singh. People like you and I who used to watch him, they named him Chand. Chand, why? Because at that time there were no floodlights. So on the nights when the moon would be bright, he would practice. He would practice. Because he found not enough practice time during the daylight. He would practice. Goalkeeper said, man, we are tired. We can't practice in the night as well. So what did he do? In the goal post, he would put cycle tube tires. So he could figure out where is the goalkeeper and where he can shoot. And as you know, Adolf Hitler changes hockey sticks. In Austria, there's a statue. Dhyan Chand with 4 hands and 4 hockey sticks. There's a record in Olympics. India beat America 24-1, in which he scored 9 goals and his younger brother scored 10 goals, Roop Singh. That goal still stands. When he played in front of Donald Bradman said this, he scores, goals like runs in cricket. So I think it's very, very important for us that while we are on learning about the new technology, the fundamentals of success will still remain the same. Would you agree or not? I've seen some of people feel that I can continue to be in the justification mode and technology will take over. Technology will make it even worse if you have. The good becomes better and the bad becomes worse. Now the next picture I have to show, obviously the lights will come, is Milkha Singh. Have you seen that movie, Bhag Milkha Bhag? Yes, what an amazing movie, is it not? Yes or no? And I'm so happy now, Indians definitely are on the map. I'm so happy that we have had this wonderful privilege of, creating a platform. Think Media, our passion is, I want Indians to see what good Indians are doing good. I don't want Indians to see what bad Indians are doing bad. I don't want to wake up every day in the morning, knowing what a fellow Indian has done bad. I want to see what a fellow Indian has done good. And I'm sure Indians are doing good things as well, is it not? Yes or no? But the media is not giving enough coverage. So Think Media is a humble effort on our part that we want to catch people like you doing something right and work with a great institution like VIT and create platforms where people like you can come and see what is being done good. So because by seeing what is being done good, you and I will probably think about doing good. But by seeing bad, I don't think we learn how to do good. So media sometimes becomes very sensational, is it not? I remember about 8 months back, I was in a session and somebody asked me a question, is it realistic to be motivated nowadays? I said, why you say that? He says, onions have become 80 rupees kilo. How can anyone be motivated? I said, why do you say that? He says, 80 rupees kilo is onion. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm worrying. Does worrying help you? He said, no, then why worry? He said, what should I do? I said, think what you can do given the price of onion at 80. And then I said, one thing is, stop eating onions. Jains don't eat onions. 0.25% of the Indian population controlling 25% of the wealth. Now suddenly he got a bolt of enlightenment. He says, okay sir, I will not eat onions. I said, you can eat it today in the buffet, but don't eat it at home. He said, anything else you think I can do? I said, yes, you can plot onions, right? In pots you can grow onions. Growing onion is not that tough, by the way. Growing paddy is tough, onion is easy. Growing tomatoes is even easier. So I think it's very important for you and I to start learning from people who are living a life of determination. Now, Milkha Singh, did you all see that movie, Bhag Milkha Bhag? I had this wonderful privilege recently to share a podium with Milkha Singh ji. I'll share this story and then I'll start wrapping it up. Milkha, as you know, in 1960s won the 200 meters race in Tokyo in Asian Games, but he jumped towards the end. And the Pakistani runner, Abdul Khalik, his coach said, this is wrong, you're supposed to run and finish, not jump. So Ayub Khan, he sent a message to Nehru that we want Milkha to come to our country, Pakistan, and compete and beat Abdul Khalik running, not jumping. And Nehru took that challenge. And Milkha Singh ji agreed to Nehru ji's request. And Milkha Singh ji shared that experience that he had in Pakistan, in Lahore, that he said, in the bus, many Indian athletes, including Milkha Singh and Makhan Singh, were sitting. As soon as the Wagah border opened the gates, the bus entered carrying Indian athletes, and they were stopped by the Pakistan military. And two Jawans boarded the bus and asked, we request Milkha Singh ji to follow us down. So Milkha Singh ji came out. There was a jeep decorated with flowers, and they requested Milkha Singh to climb on that jeep. So Milkha Singh was on the jeep, and 14 kilometers up until Lahore, both sides, Pakistanis were standing, waving India and Pakistan flags. And looking at that, Milkha realized that I'm not here to beat Abdul Khalik, I'm here to see if I can do something to create peace between India and Pakistan. He says, I was overwhelmed by that feeling. Next day, he said, I got there in time. The stadium was packed. 35,000 Pakistanis, 10,000 lady sisters wearing burqas. And he started warming up. Abdul Khalik was warming up not too far from there. The race time was about to approach. And then a Maulvi, a priest, Islamic priest, he comes towards Abdul Khalik and says, Aaj dushman ko maar girana hai, Khuda Hafiz. Today you have to kill the enemy. May God be with you. Now, since Milkha Singh had grown up in Pakistan, he could understand, read and write Urdu. He didn't like this, what he heard. And when the Maulvi was going back, he says, Maulvi Sahab, please come. And the Maulvi said, yes. He says, I've come today to spread peace between your country and my country. Please don't talk about killing anybody. And the Maulvi realized, and he said, okay, God bless you too. Khuda aapko bhi hafiz rakhe. He says, I ran that day not to beat Abdul Khalik, but to bring peace. And guess what? In that race, Abdul Khalik did not come number 2, he came number 3. And you've seen the movie. He ran so fast that Ayub Khan actually got startled at how can an athlete run so fast? And when he was giving him that medal, he said, Pakistan ko aapko flying Sikh ka khitab dete hue fakr mahsoos hota hai, that Pakistan feels proud to give you the title of a flying Sikh. And he made him a request. Mr. Milkha Singh, you've run so fast. Our people couldn't see you. Can you take a victory lap slowly? So when he was taking the victory lap slowly, guess what? He saw all the ladies were removing their burqas because they wanted to see who is this man who ran so fast. Now people like Milkha Singh and Dhyan Chand, I think we need to make sure that we remain in touch with such people. In one anecdote that he mentioned, in a press conference, Dhyan Chand ji and Milkha were sitting together and the reporters were asking, how come you're so great? And Milkha ji deferred to the elder because he was 14 years his elder. He says, Dhyan Chand ji, aap jawab dein, please give the answer. Now, Dhyan Chand looked at the reporter, he says, ask me the question again. And the reporter asked the question, how come the two of you become so great? Dhyan Chand said, be ready, I'm about to give the answer, you have to write it down. He says, I'm ready. And Dhyan Chand uttered a word, mehnat. Mehnat is hard work. Now obviously, then he became silent and the reporter was puzzled. He was hoping there'll be a whole paragraph. And then Dhyan Chand looked at him and asked him, What don't you understand in this one word? Hard work. And then he went on to explain, Milkha Singh ji, that many people think they understand but they don't. People talk a lot about smart work, right? Say, I don't do hard work, I do smart work. There's no such thing as smart work. Work has to be smart. Would you agree or not? Would you agree? Work has to be smart. You push the wall is right there, the work is zero. And if you push the wall falls on you. It's negative work, is it not? So work has to be smart. Like my wife says, never tell people that you are a good husband. Husbands have to be good. So why say good husband? So work has to be smart, but there is a thing called hard work. For some of the young students sitting here, there are certain days when you know you've got to do your assignment, but you don't feel like doing it. Doing it when you don't feel like doing it is hard work. And these guys would practice no matter what. So my request to all of us is, before I wrap it up, I thank the patience of the gentleman in the dais. Before I go, I'm going to give you a practice, because practice makes you. Behavior changes behavior. Thoughts can only trigger it. You learn so much from the dignitaries today, like Dr. Jagdish and many others who are coming, but those are triggers to your behavior. But if we don't continue behaving what the thoughts trigger, we come back to normal. So let me show you something. I want a student volunteer, please. Stand up, a student volunteer. Okay, what's your name, sir? Sharif? Boy, okay, you must be. Please add the following numbers, Sharif. 9, very good. Now please add the following numbers. Come on, Sharif, please add the following numbers. I'm sorry? It's not tough, you just got to use a smartphone that's sitting next to you. How long will it take? It'll take you 2 years to do that. Now that's the human mind, is it not? We just want to do what we know. And we gather all the resources. You're studying MBA, right? You've got so much, you've got to start using it. Does that make sense? Shri, you're still not doing it. Shri said, come on. You know, people tend to overestimate what they should be doing in short term and underestimate what they can do in the long term. I was listening to Dr. G. Vishwanathan. 30 years it's taken to bring VIT to this level, is it not? And I congratulate you. Right? I have to butter him up also. But I really appreciate, because if you had not made VIT, I think my son probably would have a tough time getting to a good place. Because I remember 3 years back when he was, studying hard for entrance exams, he was working very hard, 12 hours, 14 hours. And by the way, he's on his merit, okay, into VIT. So I was so moved, and I walked up to my son. I said, Gaurav, will you get into IIT? He said, Papa, it's impossible. It's impossible. I said, how can he be so confident? He says, Papa, genetic challenge. But believe me, to get into VIT, he always worked very, very hard. And now he continues to work very, very hard, I guess. And yes, what's the answer, Sharif? See? Have a seat, you can do it. Have a seat, you can do it. You have all the resources, you've got to start applying them, is it not? Yes or no, right? So once you do that, believe me, you would be written up in magazines in the times to come, right? Now finally, I would like to show you a video, and then I think when I get the podium, I have a tendency, I talk too much. Skin of a rhino, soul of a angel. I don't know about Chennai, but in Delhi, many of us are very thin skinned. We get insulted very quickly. Now, have you read the biography of Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson? Has anyone read it? Please read it. Imagine being fired from the company that you start by a person you hire. John Scully was hired by Apple founder Steve Jobs. And he comes back many years later with vengeance. Right? Now, those of you who understand Hindi, let me ask you a question in Hindi. You seem to understand Hindi, right, sir? Okay. Dar ke aage? Dard hai. nice question is, we all have mirror neurons. Mirror neurons capture things. Like too much mountains you add and you add. My request is, see good things. Talk to good people. Like Azim Premji is a very good friend of mine. He doesn't know it. he doesn't know it. And guess what? I'm going to put your picture with me next to my bedroom so my son can please look at me and think, oh yes, maybe you are my father. Because young kids, as they grow older, I've seen the life cycle. First 10 years, the son thinks, oh, he's God. Then they think about the father. Right? I don't know what you said, but my son went to the son. My papa equal to God. By 13 years old, they start having doubts. By 15, they are convinced, no, he is no God. By 18, the moment they go to hospital, they tell you, you are no God. But then maybe they come around, I guess, right? But I'm going to have your picture next to my bed, and I'll say, see, I will call Dr. Dinesh Mehta with no respect. Now, all of you guys, when you start using digital media, now digital media is very, very brutal, is it not? Yes or no? They'll start pumping feedback back to you before you even ask them a question, is it not? Yes or no? All the more reason for you and I to learn and practice to have a skin of a rhino and soul of a angel. Many of us act the reverse. Skin of an angel, right? And heart of an angel. We become so bitter that life is bad, people are bad. But some people are bad. Don't allow some people who are bad to make you think everybody is bad, right? So let me show you this as to how everybody sitting here, while you're going onto the social highway, media highway, you and I practice becoming thick-skinned and remaining supple on the inside. Luck. Can anyone sitting in this room ever say that I have bad luck? Because if I had bad luck, I would have never been born. Because my father released billions of sperms in his lifetime. Billions, maybe trillions. I'm that one lucky sperm, is it not? How can I say I'm unlucky? I'm very lucky. Life is about probabilities, not about luck. But sometimes I switch myself off. How are you doing? Oh, not so bad. Why can't we say great? I'm not saying lie. Now, if my wife were to ask me, how was it facing Dr. G. Vishwanathan? One is, man, I was trembling. I almost had to go to the bathroom. Or the other is, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. Now, when I say it was a challenge, she thinks, wow, my husband is more like Tipu Sultan. You can think about anything in the right manner, is it not? Yes or no? If I were to throw my phone towards you, ma'am, one is I can say, don't drop it, or I can say, catch it, which is better. So let's use the right words, and I'm going to give you the Batra Baba, now these Babas are becoming big, right? So I'm about to become Batra Baba. Babas sell very, very well. Asaram has been one of them, and now less competition. Okay. I'm going to ask you, are you ready? All of you say, yes, loudly. On the count of 1, please read, I am successful. On the count of 2, I believe. On the count of 3, I create. On the count of 4, I'm a I. Swami Vivekananda said, those who don't believe in themselves are atheists. So you and I have to practice believing in self. Now some people may feel, I, will that not be selfish? No. If you and I learn to give comfort to others and take joy in the process, you and I are becoming Vivekananda. Is it not? Yes or no? Now many of us actually are not taking enough joy. We want too much enjoyment and too less joy in life, right? Enjoyment is important. You can have a Porsche Cayenne or a Q7 Audi, but if you kill people riding that, I think you're going to be in a mess. So I think it's very, very important for you and I to learn that you and I can do so much better gaining joy while giving comfort to others. भारत देश किसका है? हाँ? मेरा. हमारे के चक्रों में तो आप देख रहे हो. Country is ours, you work, okay? My country. बीवी किनकी है? वो नहीं आप हमारी कह रहे। बच्चे किसके हैं? बच्चे किसके हैं? नहीं, वो हमारे में आएगा। एक्सेप्शन टू द रूल भी होता है। Guys, once we do it and then we start this wonderful conclave of great minds on digital marketing, right? And my request is, we're going to practice switching ourselves on. So tomorrow morning when you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is, you just switch yourself on. Just do that once with me, please. Please extend your left hand, right hand underneath, and when I say switch on, smack it. It has to hurt. Take some pain. See, when you and I were born, my mother and your mother had a lot of labor pains, but the child has much more pain than the mother, because inside the mother's womb for 9 months he's nestled. Is it not? Postpaid connection. And the moment he's out, prepaid, bang, the umbilical cord is cut. He says, now breathe and live. And the child has precisely 18 seconds to learn how to breathe. He's never done that before. Look at the pain. But then gradually we stop taking pain. You and I have to take pain, and when we take pain, we channelize it, we gain, right? And then we move on. So we'll do it once, okay? And to all the sisters, let it, just think it is your mother-in-law's cheeks. No, I'm just joking. No. Please edit that out. Dr. Vishwanathan is sitting here. Please edit it out. Let me say, you cannot love your husband or your children if you don't love your mother-in-law, because 1/4 of your child is your mother-in-law. So edit it out. But you know how you have to hit it, right? Okay, now you know. Now she says, yes. That example, I know. Okay, we'll do it together and say switch on. We'll do switch on. Okay, ready? Switch on! You got to say switch on. Come on, guys. It looks like you've all been trained by Manmohan Singh. Huh? Come on, say. Together. Guys, switch on! Okay, some people are going like this. That is switch off. Left stays, right goes up and say switch on. Are we ready? Okay. Together, switch on! Now we'll do it 3 times. And let the first time be strong, second time be stronger, and third time the strongest. And we need some output here. At the end of the third strike, it should be as red as the monkeys behind. I'm giving you a visual image. Okay, you know, I see some young students, I get very, very fired up. My Japanese boss, very tough guy. I was a sales guy. He says, your ass should be on fire. He would say, your ass should be on fire. So I said, how do I do it, sir? Do I light it myself? What do I do? He said, your ass should be on fire. So I said, can you explain how I can have, because see, rocket's ass has fire, rocket goes up. Is it not? Yes or no? Sales people, when their ass is on fire, they'll perform. So I said, how can I have a fire on my ass? He said, you got to have fire in your belly. Once you have fire in your belly, you will fart fire and your ass will catch fire. Now believe me, it may look like a joke, but that is a reality. For all the youngsters here, you have to have a very high sense of commitment towards your family and responsibilities. Only then you'll have fire in your belly. So you got to do that. So 3 times. Ready? Switch on! Come on, guys. I think we've paid for the whole hall. You guys have paid for the whole hall. Let it be roaring together. Switch on! Switch on! Switch on! Now tomorrow, the moment you wake up, please, Dr. Make it happen. You know, some people get up in the morning, they don't even switch themselves on. And they go to the bathroom. And they're still wondering, why am I here? And they look at the toothbrush. And they think once, should I do it today? Is there a need for me to brush my teeth today? Will anybody come close to me? I'm on social media, nobody will smell me, right? But then many times, you know, these people are so habituated, they pick the brush up, they open the cap somehow, pick up the tube and imprint with the thumb slightly, and they leave it. The paste comes out and goes back in. And people think, my goodness, what is this life? Nobody is cooperating with me. But if you and I are switched on, you go to the bathroom, pick it up like Tipu Sultan or whoever else you think is a brave man, open the cap, leave the tube on the counter, hold the brush like Rajinikanth, and bang, and catch it. Rajinikanth. And then some people are thinking, Ayla, what if I don't catch it? It's okay, take it from the tiles. And when you come out, you tell your wife or anybody else who lives with you that you want toothpaste, it's on the tiles, please take it. And they say, wow, that is media, is it not? Yes or no? So before I go, my partner Sandeep Bharat tells me it's time for you to go. We're going to do this together. Please hold the hand of one person sitting next to you. And some of the sisters, you may have to sit next to the person so you can hold. Hold the hand of one person, at least one person. Come on guys, you can move around. Yeah, just move around. Just hold the hand of at least one person. Any one person. Hold it. Like Miss Jayalalitha will hold the hand of Karunanidhi, please. You hold it like that. You know, we need some friendship, please. Oh, come on, that is not the grip. That is Manmohan Singh holding hand of Modi. He's afraid what will he do to my hand. Okay, how about you, sister? Come closer. Yeah, yeah. Come closer, come closer. Yeah. No, just pull the chair. Yeah, we're going to do it once. Can you give the chair to the lady, please? Yeah, yeah, please. Be comfortable, okay? And Sharif Bhai, don't sit like this. But this, I don't know. In Japan, Japanese bosses do not like this pose. He says, are you my boss or am I your boss? Both your feet on the ground. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you, are you ready? Say yes and squeeze. Some people have just given their hand. You keep squeezing, please. I have nothing to do today, right? So you got to do things, right? Practice makes you better. Okay. Behavior changes behavior. Please remember. So are we all holding it? Okay. I'm going to ask you, are you ready? Say yes. On the count of 1, I am successful. And squeeze. On the count of 2, I believe. On the count of 3, I create. On the count of I'm a. Winning is not to beat others, but to become better, like Milkha Singh. In that race, Milkha came number 1, Makan came number 2, Abdul Khalik came number 3, because Abdul Khalik wanted to beat Milkha. When you want to beat others, you lose. When you want to become better, you win. Okay? Loudly. Are you ready? Yes. Oh, come on, guys. You sound like the Mayawati's party, huh? Wanting to give some support to Modi, but there's no support. Guys, loud. Are you ready? Yes. Much better. Much better. Much better. But please, all the air has to come from the top. No leakage from the bottom. Okay? So push it up. Are you ready? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave the hand. One last time. India country किसका है? मेरा है. Oh, sir, हाथ छोड़ दो, sir. I know you're liking the hand, sir, but you have to now leave the hand. Please leave his hand. Now, look at the power of happiness, is it not? I would not be wishing you best of luck because your luck is very good. Do your best. But one more time. Now we've got to build up some appetite for tea and lunch as well. So one time we'll do it without holding hands. I'll ask you, are you ready? Say yes. On the count of 1, I am successful. Sitting on your chairs. On the count of 2, stand up. I believe. Except people here. Because standing up from there, you require some rocket support. It's like this, So it's a tough thing. I stood up with the help of Dr. G. Vishwanathan, but you guys are sitting on chairs, so you can do that. 1 sitting, 2 standing, 3 sitting, 4 standing. And let it rip. I believe. Yeah, people talk a lot about competition. There is no competition unless you create it. There is no competition unless you create it. My wife, I am her husband. If I don't serve her, somebody else then will serve her. Outsourcing does not happen till you slow down. If I don't serve my son, somebody else will choose to serve him. So my request to you is there is no competition, it's complacency at times. And that's where I'm hoping that you and I will be switched on. And some people say, Batra, how often? I said, as often as you get switched off. Maybe once every 10 minutes, once every 5 minutes, once every 2 hours. If the heart can beat 72 times in an hour, is it not? Can't we do this more often? Even heart can say, I need 1 day off every week. Now that would be a permanent weekend. One time and then I'm done. Are you ready to take over? Okay, just one time. Are you ready? Yes. 1, 2. Gentlemen and ladies, please have a seat. Let me show you. When you stand up. Some people are going like this. Some people are thinking, I have to sit down, so can I just stand up and then sit? Let it be total up and down. And some people are wondering, how much do I have to stand? You know your height. Exceed that by 2 or 3 inches at the most.